Hello, Propel 25.
Hello.
Yeah, let's get some whoops. It's late in the day. Yes, thank you. All right. My name is Grace Diaz. I am the operations manager at Actabl. And my previous experience before joining the operations team, actually within the Actabl brands, was in HR. And in that particular role, I was responsible for employee experience and onboarding, which brought me to you all here today, ultimately. And I'm very grateful to be here. I'd love to pass it to Amanda.
My name is Amanda Stewart. I am the Director of Implementation for Hotel Effectiveness, one of the 4 companies that work for Actabl. I joined Hotel Effectiveness as a project manager. And once we became Actabl, I transitioned into the Director of Implementation role. And myself, along with the other 3 directors for the other brands, we were tasked with onboarding Rocket Lane. And we were so excited about it. And little did we know the fun was really about to begin. So, but Grace is going to talk about just the overall process, and I'll get more into the nitty-gritty details about how Rocket Lane helped us become efficient, streamline our processes, and have a better customer experience overall.
Yes. So here's what we're going to go over today. I have mentioned Actabl, and that is the company we work for. Actabl is a hospitality SaaS company that brought together 4 separate companies in one vertical to create one unified brand. So today we're going to talk through exactly how we identified the 3 key areas of focus in order to create the unified onboarding experience that we have today, how Rocket Lane has revolutionized that onboarding experience, and through this process created one team and one dream. So these are the Actabl brands that we have here. And as you can imagine, bringing together 4 unique companies created many unique problems for us. And some of those problems included a lack of information sharing, working in silos, only working with team members that you already knew or already had experience with. We had to scale 4 small companies into one large one. I have been with one of the Actabl brands, eventually Actabl, for about 6.5 years now. My original brand was Profit Sword, that little PS shield over there. And pretty much overnight, I went from working for an 80-person company to working for a 300-person company. And that was a very interesting and unique, difficult experience. We have a variety of customer profiles based on what brand they're purchasing, and some of those customers are shared between brands. We had to figure out how to share that information back and forth between our implementation teams in order to properly get information that we needed to our teams. So the goal was to streamline our people, our processes, and our tools. First, we had to determine our team structure, who's responsible for what, which allowed us ultimately to align on our process. By unifying the process, we allowed our customers to have a reliable experience. They needed to know what to expect from us as Actabl instead of what to expect from us as individual brands. This helped us by aligning these tools, processes, and people, helped us create trust as Actabl with these customers who already knew us. So ultimately, we wanted the same process and a high level of customer service every single time we were implementing a customer, no matter what brand they were implementing. I'd like to pass it to Amanda to share a little bit more about streamlining our processes.
Thanks, Grace.
Yeah.
So I've worked for multiple organizations and they use multiple tools. And I don't know about you guys, but it was truly sometimes a daunting experience because tools don't talk to one another. The right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. And when you have that type of situation, who feels it the most? It's our customers. They feel the brunt of that. There's not a smooth onboarding process. There's more exposure for risk for them canceling their services. You get bad feedback, bad reviews, lower customer satisfaction scores. And we work in the hospitality industry. And I don't know about your industry, but our customers talk to each other.
Yeah.
They want referrals. Before they sign a contract with us, who can we speak to? Who can give you guys a good referral? Mm-hmm. And so it's so imperative that the onboarding experience, that first touch base once they leave the sales team, is great experience for them. So not only did we need a tool to share information amongst the teams with our other stakeholders, but we also needed a tool to capture certain types of metrics that we could report to our outside stakeholders as well. And we needed those metrics to be coming from the same tool in the same way, so we didn't have to piecemeal information like we all have done in those dreaded spreadsheets I'm sure that everybody is very familiar with. And also, since becoming the director of implementation, I've been working with my project managers on standardizing the implementation methodology. And as I spoke with other directors of implementation with Actabl, I not only realized that this would be a great tool for us, but we could also use Rocket Lane to help with the upskilling of our team for sure. My team was the pilot for Rocket Lane. So we went through several versions of the project plan before it was actually rolled out. And that opened our eyes to not only do we need a simplified project plan, but we also needed to define our processes and also clearly identify roles and responsibilities within the organization. And that led to a couple of shuffling of different roles. One of my project managers became a senior implementation advisor, and she was very instrumental in creating our project plan, our project flows, documenting that information. She created an entire Rocket Lane user guide specifically for the hotel effectiveness team. And if you're interested, I have it printed out so I can share it with you if you want to take a look at it as well.
Come talk to us after.
But yes, not only did Rocket Lane help with our onboarding situation, but it opened our eyes to other things within our organization as well, for sure. Also, with creating the project plan for Rocket Lane, we had to look at how the projects are laid across the different brands. For my team, we have a very large volume of projects. We could have a group contract with one hotel, or it could have 150 hotels. And that's still considered to be one project for my project manager to work on. But then we have other teams where they may have a project that go through several iterations of the phases of the project plan, but it could take, well, it used to take 4 to 6 months to implement. Now we've streamlined that a little bit, but it was dependent upon the complexity for sure. But we needed a project plan that fit all of those different types of projects within our system. And Rocket Lane did allow us to do that. We also wanted to make sure we could document this information easily. I mentioned that my senior implementation advisor was instrumental in that. She developed the Rocket Lane user guide. But we also wanted to make sure, since we were the pilot, that we documented everything that we went through, all of the gotchas, the tips and tricks, to make sure we leveraged everything that Rocket Lane offers. And by the way, we're not there yet. We still have a long ways to go. But also too, and I'm gonna throw a shameless plug out there, we're hiring. So whenever we onboard a new employee, we wanna make sure that we have documentation available so that they can be introduced to Rocket Lane and they can navigate it with ease for sure. For sure. And then also too, some of our brands work more closely together than others. For instance, I'm Legacy Hotel Effectiveness. We also have Profit Sort. Before we became Actabl, Hotel Effectiveness and Profit Sort, we worked together a lot, and it wasn't always seamless. So once we became Actabl, we wanted to make sure that it was. Sometimes there may be a project the Profit Sort team is working on, and once they finish a task, it may kick off a task for my team to start working on. So Rocket Lane helped us build automations into the system, as well as create tasks, subtasks. We can clearly identify who's responsible for that as well within the system. So that helped us a lot there as well. And then also Grace's team, yes, she has implementation consultants, and they talk to the customers first after they sign the contract, and her team introduces them to the customer portal. I don't know if you guys are all using that, who use Rocket Lane, but the customer portal is a great experience for the customers. They can see multiple projects at one time. It clearly identifies what their responsibilities are. We literally have tasks assigned to them. They are responsible for it. The only circle there with the picture is their picture. Yeah. They can also see the statuses of their projects, as well as if there's any blockers preventing us from moving forward. And hint, hint, they probably are the blockers.